Good morning, dear students. Myself Manju Sharma, Department of Geography, Dayan College, Hisar. Today, the topic of our study is rocks, type of rocks, and rock cycle. Now, the question is, what is rock? The meaning of rock varies from one discipline to another discipline. For example, in geology, a hard substance is called rocks. But geographically, its meaning is different. It is related to lithosphere. Basically, litho means rocks. And in this way, all that substances which help in the formation of lithosphere, whether they are hard like granite or soft like soil. यानी वो सब्सटेंस वो पदार्थ जो लिथोस्फीयर के जो स्थल मंडल के निर्माण में सहायक होते हैं वे सब रॉक्स होते हैं वो हार्ड भी हो सकते हैं और दे कैन बी सॉफ्ट also. Generally, rocks is composition of two or more minerals, but it is not necessary uh, that two or more minerals can make rocks. Even a single mineral, in exceptional cases, even a single minerals can also form rocks. For example, salt rocks, limestone. These are the single minerals which are helpful in the formation of rocks also. Now the new question arises, what is a mineral? खनिज किसे कहते हैं? Minerals are natural substances that has definite physical and chemical properties. यानी वो प्राकृतिक रूप से उपलब्ध पदार्थ जिनकी निश्चित भौतिक और रासायनिक प्रॉपर्टीज होती वो सभी खनिज कहलाते हैं, मिनरल्स कहलाते हैं. And when minerals mix up with each other and their composition is called as rocks. And on the basis of this type of composition, we can divide rocks into three parts. There are major three types of rocks are found over the earth's surface. First, igneous rocks, second, sedimentary rocks, and third is metamorphic rocks. Now we will study one by one. Then first take igneous rocks. Igneous rocks, as we know that the word comes from fire. Its basic meaning is fire. And igneous rocks is formed due to solidification of magma and lava. When hot and liquid material comes out from the interior of the earth and becomes solid, then it forms igneous rocks. These type of rocks are called primary rocks because in the during the primary origin of the earth surface, this type of rocks became the basis for all type of lithosphere. This type of rocks have basic properties, and this type of rocks have no layers because they are in contact of fire, and there is no any fossil fuels are found in this type of rocks, and they are very hard and compact rocks. This is the formation of igneous rocks, how the magma, hot liquid material. Here it is important to know that when the liquid and hot material is inside the earth, then it is called as magma, and when it comes out from the interior, it becomes lava and it becomes solid. Uh, This is the volcanic eruption, and after becoming outside, it becomes solid. It can be solid inside also, and on the basis of this, we can, on the basis of their location of becoming solid, we can divide igneous rocks into various other parts. For example, and these are the example of igneous rocks and types of igneous rocks. There are extrusive igneous rocks. बहिर्वेदी आग्नेय चट्टानें इनको हम कहते हैं. When molten material called magma comes out from the interior of the earth and becomes solid, then it is called as extrusive rocks. यानी जब गर्म पदार्थ होता है, मैग्मा होता है, वो धरातल को तोड़ के बाहर आ जाता है और बाहर आके ठंडा होता है, तब वो आग्नेय चट्टानों में, बहिर्वेदी आग्नेय चट्टानों में कन्वर्ट हो जाता है. और इट हैज फाइन पार्टिकल्स, बहुत बारीक कण होते हैं इसमें. और इसकी जो वेदरिंग होती है वो हमारी ब्लैक सॉइल की फॉर्मेशन करती है. Second type of rocks is called as intrusive rocks. Intrusive rocks means अंतर्वेदी आग्नेय चट्टानें. When liquid hot material magma is not able to come out the interior of the earth and become solid inside the earth, then intrusive igneous rocks are formed. They are they have large particle as compared to expressive and found in different depth. For example, type of on the basis of composition. On the basis of composition, we can classify igneous rocks into acid igneous rocks and basic igneous rocks. In acid igneous rocks, the amount of silica is found up to 65 to 80%, whereas in basic igneous rocks, the silica amount is found 45 to 60%. Now on the basis of location, the एक्सट्रूसिव जो इंट्रूसिव रॉक्स, अंतर्वेदी जो आग्नेय चट्टानें होती हैं, वो डिफरेंट जो गहराई में जमती हैं, डिफरेंट गहराई में जो पाई जाती हैं, उनको हम दो भागों में बांट सकते हैं. First one is plutonic igneous rocks. Plutonic igneous rocks means when magma becomes solid under the earth surface in more depth. It takes more time to be solid and due to more depth, because we know that there is a high temperature in the depth under the surface. A second type of intrusive rocks is hyperbasal igneous rocks, अधिवितलीय आग्नेय चट्टानें. When molten material magma becomes solid in the fault and stretches under the earth surface, then it becomes hyperbasal rocks. And now the question is that in the under the surface of the earth, when magma starts to be solid, then it forms a number of shape and size, and it is called as igneous rocks body. यानी जब गर्म पदार्थ मैग्मा होता है, वो डिफरेंट टाइप्स की जो शेप में जमता है, because there is not homogeneous surface under the earth, and it becomes it takes various shapes, and it is called as igneous rocks bodies. Here are some example of igneous rocks body. For first one is batholith. Batholith is the biggest igneous rocks body, and it can be it can be long 100 kilometers also, and width they have 50 to 80 kilometer also, and heterogeneous surface, or it is found in the more depth also, and it is called as root of mountain also. बहुत मतलब साइज में बहुत बड़ा होता है बैथोलिथ. Second is stoke. Stoke is the smaller part of batholith. यानी बैथोलिथ का जो छोटा पार्ट होता है वो स्टॉक कहलाता है। इट्स शेप इज लाइक अ डोम, यानी गुंबदाकार जो आकृति होती है उसमें उससे स्टॉक बनता है। थर्ड वन इज लेकोलिथ। लेकोलिथ is an umbrella shape solidification of magma. It is called as laccolith. And next is lapolith. Lapolith, when magma becomes solid in a plate shape, या तस्तरी नुमा जो आकृति होती है, प्लेट की आकृति होती है, उसमें जब मैग्मा है वो ठंडा होता है और सॉलिड हो जाता है, तब हमारे जो लेपोलिथ है, आग्नेय पिंड है, वो बनता है। एंड इट इज द स्मॉल देन द लेकोलिथ एंड इट इज फाउंड इन लेस डेप्थ as compared to laccolith. Next one is phacolith. Phacolith, when magma becomes solid in waves pattern, waves like, जब लहर नुमा आकृति में जब मैग्मा जमता है, सॉलिड हो जाता है, एंड द फीचर becomes is known as phacolith. And next is sill. Sill, when solid magma becomes solid parallel to the earth surface in less depth, parallel to the earth surface like a seat cover. It is called as sill. And next one is dike. And in dike, the magma becomes solid in the vertical or we can say that a volcanic neck टाइप जो फीचर्स होता है वहाँ पे सॉलिड होता है लंबवत आकार में इन वर्टिकल फॉर्म लाइक अ वॉल। जब मैग्मा सॉलिड होता है देन इट फॉर्म डाइक igneous rock body. Now the importance of the igneous rocks. As we know that igneous rocks are a major source of minerals like gold, silver, iron, copper, and a number of another type of minerals. And second, the building and construction material is obtained from the igneous rocks, and their weathering is helpful in the formation of fertile black soil, which is helpful for cotton crop and sugar cane. And it is the source of hot water spring also. On the basic importance of the these are the basic importance of the igneous rocks, and its distribution in India is found in the Deccan Plateau area or near its surrounding areas. Now the next is sedimentary rocks. Sedimentary rocks, it is formed when sediments or small pieces of rocks. We can say that it is small pieces of rocks also collect in one place and put under the great pressure. When deposition the sediments of rocks or vegetation takes place, it becomes the sedimentary rocks. And the basic property of sedimentary rocks are first is sedimentary rocks have layered structure because there are layers in deposition of sediments. They are not much hard and they are easy to weathered and not found in uniform form. This type of rocks have porosity also and bending form they are found. On the classification, this is the formation of sedimentary rocks. We can see that how the eroded material from the land is deposited in the oceans due to the pressure of air and water, and over a time the bottom layer becomes hard and becomes solid, and it is called as sedimentary rocks. This type of this here the sediments can be rocks also, and it can be plant and animal materials that are dies in the oceans also. On the basis of composition. Basis of composition, sedimentary rocks are basically two types: organic sedimentary rocks, and second is non-organic या inorganic जो sedimentary rocks हैं. जैसे organic sedimentary rocks जैव अवसादी चट्टानें. These are made by sediments of natural vegetation and fauna. जो हमारी प्राकृतिक वनस्पति है उसके जो सेडिमेंट से जो बनती हैं, that are called organic sedimentary rocks. Or we can say that the rocks in which we found organic materials are called organic sedimentary rocks. These are also can be divided in three parts: calcareous sedimentary rocks, carbonaceous sedimentary rocks, and chemical reaction based sedimentary rocks. These are the types of organic sedimentary rocks. Next, inorganic sedimentary rocks. Inorganic sedimentary rocks formation is based on the weathering of old rocks. For example, its type is uh, जो sedimentary rocks which are made by sand, or which has the dominance of clay also. Uh, on the basis of formation, places formation, we can divide sedimentary rocks into marine rocks, जो समुद्र में जिनकी फॉर्मेशन होती है, रिवरिन सेडिमेंट्री रॉक्स नदी में होती है जो, और लेस्ट्रियन सेडिमेंट्री रॉक्स सरोवर या जो लेक्स में होती है, झील में होती है, और एवोलियन सेडिमेंट्री रॉक्स, ग्लेशियर सेडिमेंट्री रॉक्स. These are some example of sedimentary rocks on the basis of their locations. Now these are some example: coal, sandstone, and limestone sedimentary rocks. Now the importance of sedimentary rocks. Importance: sedimentary rocks are also source of minerals like coal, mineral oil, and natural gas. It is a source of fertile soil, because when sediments are deposited in the plain area, then it form fertile alluvial soils, and it also helps. The important things with sedimentary rocks is that they keep safe to the fossils, and their study is helpful in the geological progress. जो भी वेजिटेशन या जीव जंतुओं के जो अवशेष होते हैं वो सेडिमेंट्री रॉक्स में जो दब जाते हैं, तो उसमें वो सेफ हो जाते हैं. उसके बाद जब उनकी स्टडी की जाती है तो वो हम इससे एस्टिमेशन कर सकते हैं कि किस तरह की कंडीशन रही होंगी जब इस तरह की रॉक्स की फॉर्मेशन हुई थी. Next is metamorphic rocks. As we know that it comes from the word meta. Morphic. Meta means change and morphe means form. It means when the rock's properties are changed, then it converts into metamorphic rocks. They are originally igneous. They can be originally igneous rocks or sedimentary rocks also. And now the question is how the metamorphism takes place. कि जो चट्टानों के रंग रूप में या कंपोजिशन में, संरचना में जो परिवर्तन होता है वो किस वजह से होता है. फर्स्ट वन इज बेसिस ऑफ मीडियम. साधन के आधार पे किस तरह से मेटामॉर्फिज्म या परिवर्तन जो होता है. इसमें फर्स्ट वन डायनामिक मेटामॉर्फिज्म, गतिक रूपांतरण. When metamorphism takes place in the interior of the earth surface due to interior movements, and there becomes fault and faults, and due to extreme pressure rock's property starts to be changed. Then dynamic metamorphism takes place. It is the result of and high temperature or compression also. Second is thermal metamorphism, तापीय रूपांतरण. Thermal metamorphism takes place due to extreme temperature. बहुत ज़्यादा तापमान के कांटेक्ट में जब कोई चट्टान आती है तब वो उसकी प्रॉपर्टीज में चेंजेस आने लगते हैं, उसे हम बोलते हैं तापीय रूपांतरण. दैट इज नोन एज थर्मल मेटामॉर्फिज्म. And next is hydrothermal metamorphism. Hydrothermal metamorphism takes place near the continental and oceanic boundaries. Because when oceanic water comes in the contact of hot material, magma, and it affects the surrounding rocks, and hydrothermal metamorphism takes place. Next is basis of reason. We can divide metamorphic rocks into two parts. First one is regional metamorphism. Regional metamorphism, अक्षेत्रीय रूपांतरण. Regional metamorphism takes place over a large surface, large region. It affects the rocks properties of a large region, and it has uh, it is found in more depth also, and here high temperature and high pressure are main factors who are responsible for this type of metamorphism. And second is contact metamorphism. Contact metamorphism means स्पर्श रूपांतरण. When magma affects the surrounding rocks, then contact metamorphism takes place. This type of metamorphism occurs on a limited area. Contact metamorphism. There is basic difference between regional and contact metamorphism. In regional metamorphism, the area is very large, whereas in contact metamorphism, the area is limited. Now, this is the formation of metamorphic, how the rocks under the pressure and due to more heat change their properties and convert into metamorphic rocks. We can also classify metamorphic rocks on the basis on their origin rocks also. For example, when sedimentary rocks properties are changed due to temperature and pressure, then it is called as parametamorphism. And when igneous rocks change their properties due to various geomorphic processes, then it is known as orthometamorphism. And when metamorphic rocks change their properties again, then it is called as bimetamorphic rocks. Here it is important to know that metamorphism is not occurs only with igneous and sedimentary rocks. It can be happen with the metamorphic rocks again. These are the example of metamorphic rock: quartz, marble, slate, schist. These are the. Now the question is, what is a rock cycle? Rock cycle, चट्टानी चक्र क्या होता है? The process of transformation of rocks from one form to other form in a cyclic manner is known as rock cycle. बेसिकली रॉक साइकिल इज अ ग्रुप ऑफ चेंजेस, यानी जब एक तरह की चट्टान है वो किसी दूसरी तरह की चट्टान में बदलती है, उसे हम कहते हैं रॉक साइकिल. हम पहले भी स्टडी कर चुके हैं कि जो रॉक्स हैं, ऐसा नहीं है कि कायांतरी जो आग्नेय चट्टान है वो ही कायांतरी चट्टान बनेगी है. Igneous rocks can change into sedimentary rocks also, and igneous rocks can be changed into metamorphic rocks also. In the same way, sedimentary rocks can also convert into igneous rocks. For example, sedimentary rocks, when the erosion of sedimentary rocks takes place when erosion of igneous rocks takes place, and it is converted into sedimentary rocks because sediment generates, and the physical elements deposit these sediments to another place, and it becomes hard over a period of time, and it becomes sedimentary rocks. In the same way, when sedimentary rocks comes in the contact of high temperature and pressure, then it can be converted into igneous rocks also. And in the same way, sedimentary rocks, due to more temperature and pressure, can be converted into metamorphic rocks. And metamorphic rocks, if metamorphic rocks are weathered and eroded, then it can be converted into sedimentary rocks also. In the same way, igneous rocks also can be converted metamorphic rocks, and metamorphic rocks can also be converted into igneous rocks, and this cycle remains continuous. Here it is difficult to identify that which type of rocks are formed prior, because जब किसी तरह की चट्टान की फॉर्मेशन होती है, तो उसके लिए फॉर एग्जांपल हम सेडिमेंट्री की बात करते हैं, तो सेडिमेंट्री रॉक्स के फॉर्मेशन के लिए हमें क्या चाहिए, हमें इरोडेड मटेरियल चाहिए, वेदर्ड मटेरियल चाहिए। एंड वेदर्ड मटेरियल कहाँ से मिलेगा हमें, वेदर्ड मटेरियल इग्नियस रॉक्स या मेटामॉर्फिक रॉक से होगा। और मेटामॉर्फिक या इग्नियस रॉक्स है, उनको बनने के लिए भी किसी दूसरे रॉक्स की बेस की ज़रूरत पड़ती है। तो इसी तरह से इसीलिए इसको रॉक साइकिल कहा जाता है, बिकॉज इन अ साइकिल वी आर नॉट एबल टू आइडेंटिफाई द स्टार्टिंग एंड द ending of this, and it is known as rock cycle. Okay, our chapter is completed.